Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brev. Welcome to another MLB The Show 22 video. In this one today, I'm going to be going over the top 10 diamonds in Diamond Dynasty right now that are the best bang for your buck, meaning you get the most value out of them for your team compared to their price. We are just going to stick with diamond cards in this video because I'm going to make an entirely separate video on best budget cards in the game right now. And in that one, we're going to focus a lot more on the gold, silvers, and bronzes. So for this one, these are the best value diamonds you can buy on the marketplace as of right now, and I plan to do several of these videos throughout the year to kind of keep you guys updated on who I think is a good deal on the market. At number 10, we are starting off the list with 86 overall Breakout Pablo Sandoval. This card comes from the first set of the Big Dog packs, and you can see on the market he's currently selling for 8,000 stubs. This is an amazing bang for your buck diamond card for a couple of reasons. Number one, Pablo Sandoval, a switch hitter, also extremely high contact versus left, which is pretty valuable against some of the pitchers you'll be facing online as of right now, such as like Dallas Keuchel, David Price, etc. Good enough power, mid to high 60s, but the thing that really does it for me is the catcher secondary, and he's still got the 82 arm strength to play semi-decent defense at catcher. I think this card is pretty slept on, honestly. A switch hitter that can play catcher. If you're looking for a new catcher option, I would definitely give this guy a shot. I also historically have done really well with Pablo Sandoval cards. I just like his swing in general, and this card is just really well statted. I think if he was a catcher primary, he would be much higher than an 86 overall, and a lot of people forget that he can even play catcher. So for 8,000 stubs, if you're looking for a new catcher, I would absolutely give this card a try. At number 9, we have the first of many face of the franchise cards that you will see on this list. In general, I think a lot of the cards are insanely good value right now. For here, number 9, we've got Luis Robert. Overall, still an incredibly well-statted card. He's good enough versus righties, and if you happen to get him versus a lefty, he's gonna pop off. At parallel 2, he hits 90 fielding, which means you can have diamond defense in center field, and he's gonna have 95 speed at that point. You can see mine's at parallel 3, so just a little bit higher. And as you can see, as a mixture from Hall of Fame ranked and some events, I'm hitting over 400 with this card still, and he is currently only selling for around 11,000 stubs. This card honestly brings a lot to the table. I wish his hitting stats versus righties were a little bit better, but everything else is extremely solid, and this is a really well-rounded card for only 11,000 stubs. If you're looking for a new outfielder, this could definitely be your guy. At number 8, we have 90 overall veteran Billy Wagner. This card was a headliner reward in a previous set. Overall, left-handed relief pitching is one of the scarcest positions in the game, and it's really hard to find good ones, especially early in the year. This Billy Wagner has 4 really solid pitches, throws hard, and comes with 107 hits per 9. He is currently only selling for 15,000 stubs on the marketplace, and I absolutely think it's worth it, especially if you have not ironed out your entire bullpen yet. Again, just getting a really solid left-hander reliever for only 15K is an absolute steal at this point in the year. Really highly recommend this card for people who still need a lefty in the pen. At number 7, we have another face of the franchise card. This one is 90 Bryan Reynolds from the Pirates. This is possibly my favorite face of the franchise card, at least of all the outfielders that you can use. This card is just beautifully statted. He's more of a power hitter versus righties. He's more of a contact hitter versus lefties. Again, the switch hitting is going to play huge. Once you get him to parallel 1, he can have gold defense in any outfield position as well, and amazing speed to boot to cover some more ground out there. I legitimately cannot believe this card is only selling for 10,000 stubs at the moment. This is an amazing card for only 10,000 stubs. If outfield wasn't so deep in general, I would have rated this card a lot higher. But regardless, if you like just picked up the game or you're just starting to build your team up, I would highly recommend trying to scoop up a Bryan Reynolds for 10K. And so far online for me, this is a lot more advanced, as you could tell by the at-bats to games ratio, but he is hitting 463 and extremely even batting averages versus both sides. He's hitting almost exactly the same versus righties and lefties. You can see down there 465 versus right and 459 versus left. In terms of high value, this card is stacked if you're just starting to build your team. At number 6, another face of the franchise outfielder, we've got Cody Bellinger, who is also selling for 10,000 stubs at the moment. I rate Bellinger slightly higher than Reynolds, although they're both extremely good steals. The reason I value Bellinger just a little bit more is because of his positional versatility. He can play first base if you want to, and that also makes him a little bit better of a bench bat than you might think. Only real knock on this card is the contact versus left, which won't be a huge issue for anyone playing on All-Star or maybe even Hall of Fame. Overall, you can cover up to 4 positions with this card for 10,000 stubs. Amazing swing, gonna have gold defense in his secondary positions and crushes righties. Another amazing bang for your buck option in the game right now. At number 5, you guessed it, another face of the franchise card. This time we're talking about 90 Devin Williams from the Brewers. This is, in my opinion, probably the best relief pitcher in the game right now. We've talked about how scarce bullpen can be at times, albeit there's a lot more righties available than lefties, but still, this card is selling for 10K 10k also. Those hits per 9 and K per 9 are gonna play well into the summer, and you can snag this card for 10k right now. This is a legitimate multiple month value relief pitcher that you can get for 10,000 stubs. It's so crazy. It's such a good deal. I think if you have the stubs available and you haven't picked this guy up yet, I highly recommend. Could be a lockdown guy at the end of your bullpen for multiple months. All right, finally we're moving on from the face of the franchise, guys. For now, at number 4 we have 88 Prospects Oneil Cruz. This card is obtainable from the Big Dog Choice Pack Set 3, and he's currently selling for 9,500 stubs. Again, this card brings a ton to the table for the stubs that you're paying for him. So much value here. First of all, he's a left-handed hitting shortstop, which is pretty rare in general. Although he's only going to have silver defense at shortstop, he has pretty good speed at 78 to increase his range a little bit, and he also has a cannon with 90 arm strength. And from a hitting perspective, this card is basically identical to Cody Bellinger, but he can play shortstop, which is just insane value. Obviously, he's got the secondaries of third base in the outfield as well. If you want to put him there, this card can play everywhere pretty much. And I just think the value that you get out of spending 9,500 stubs for this card is really good. He brings a lot of unique things to the table, and you can move him around in a lot of different places. One thing to note is he is 6'7", so if you struggle hitting with taller players, this may not be the card for you. But in general, this card's going to play insane for the value that you get, and that 6'7" height is actually going to maybe even help him on some diving plays in the middle infield. Really can't stress enough how much I like this card if you do not like your current shortstop, third baseman, or even a corner outfielder. At number 3, you know we had to put this guy somewhere on the list. It's 90 overall Aroldis Chapman. This card is pretty significantly more expensive than the relievers we talked about earlier, specifically like Devin Williams. A Chapman is selling for 16k right now, but it is 100% worth it in my opinion. This is still an insane value for this card. Again, with the hits per 9, K per 9, he's going to play for many months. This may be the last Chapman we see until his highest overall card. Not a whole lot to say here, just another lefty flamethrower out of the bullpen that's going to be on your squad for multiple months. Definitely worth the 16,000 stubs. At number 2, we have face of the franchise Logan Webb, who is also selling for 10,000 right now. To be fair, pretty much all of the face of the franchise starting pitchers are worth their price right now, just because you need 5 of them in general, and it's hard to fill out your rotation with a bunch of good guys in the beginning of the year. I did, however, only put Logan Webb on this list because he's the only one who I think is definitively a top 10 pitcher for me. His pitch mix is really strong. Sinker cutter is always good. Then he's got the slider and changeup to boot. His control has been really good for me online. I feel like I can throw some sliders and changeups high, which is something I can't really do with a lot of other cards. And overall, this is just going to be a really solid, consistent starter. Even if he's your 5th starter for a long time, it's still absolutely worth the stubs just to shore up your rotation and make sure you have some depth there. And again, 10,000 stubs for a 90 overall starting pitcher when you need 5 of them right out of the gate is insane value. All right, and rounding out the video, number 1, a card probably nobody saw coming when they clicked on this video. For me, it's 85 Adam Ottavino. This has been at times my most reliable reliever, especially in high leverage situations. And honestly, the stats on the card are a little bit misleading in my experience. The thing that jumps out immediately about this card is his extremely low walks per 9, but using this card online, I found his par sizes to be pretty reasonable. A lot of the core pitching sequencing you're going to be doing with this card involves both the 2-seam fastball and the cutter, which aren't affected by the par changes. And then obviously with a primary slider, he's going to have a lot more control over that pitch specifically. He's also got max break on his slider and 2-seam fastball, and extremely good break on his cutter. This card has 5 really solid pitches out of the bullpen, and just looking at him, you'd think his control would be bad, but in my experience, it really hasn't been. And he does have an incredibly tricky sidearm delivery that is hard for a hitter to pick up. And to boot, he's currently selling for less than any other reliever we've mentioned already in this video. He is only 8,000 stubs right now. For me, with how hard it is to find reliable bullpen guys, the fact that he's only selling for 8K, and the fact that at times he's been my best reliever, I think 85 overall Adam Ottavino is the best bang for your buck diamond card in MLB The Show right now. And that's gonna do it for the video. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section below. I'm sure I missed some guys that you thought were deserving of making the list. Again, this was just for diamond cards right now. We'll be doing more of these throughout the year as more cards come out, and we'll also be doing a separate video focusing more on gold, silvers, and bronzes for budget cards. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.